Today we'll understand how DNS works. First of all, DNS stands for Domain Name System. It's a crucial component of the internet that helps users access websites and other resources using human-readable domain names like www.youtube.com instead of numerical IP addresses. Let's start with a simplified explanation of how DNS works. Before starting the video, please do subscribe this channel. Hope you subscribed. So let's begin the video. DNS is the system that translates domain names into IP address. Because the system needs to convert this human-readable domain name into an IP address that computers can understand. When a user enters a domain name example www.youtube.com into your web browser, computers and servers use IP addresses to identify websites and direct your browser to the correct one. You can think of DNS acting like an address book for every website on the internet. Basically, there are 5 basic steps in the DNS system. First, DNS cache. Second, resolver server. Third, root server. Fourth, TLD server. And fifth, authoritative name server. Let's understand step 1, DNS cache, with example. Suppose you enter youtube.com in your browser and click on search button. The first place the system checks is its own local DNS cache.
I'll just check my cache to see if I already know this site.
This cache stores recently accessed domain names and their corresponding IP addresses. If the domain name is found in the cache and is still valid, not expired, the system uses this IP address to connect to the website. If the domain name is not in the local cache or if the cached entry has expired,
No, I don't know this one. Let me send it to a resolver.
Then you will like this page. Now the user's device sends a DNS query to a resolver server. These servers are usually provided by Internet Service Providers (ISPs) or third-party DNS providers like Google DNS. The resolver server also checks its cache for the IP address of the requested domain.
Oh, a new request. Let me check my cache.
If it has the IP address, it returns it to the user's device. If not,
I can't find it. I'll ask a root server to help.
it starts the process of DNS resolution. If the resolver server doesn't have the required information, it queries the root DNS servers. These servers are at the top of the DNS hierarchy and maintain information about the top-level domains, TLDs, like .com, .org, and country code TLDs like .uk, .jp, etc.
I don't know this site, but I can redirect you to the .com TLD server.
Based on the TLD of the domain name like example.com, the root DNS server directs the recursive DNS server to the TLD DNS server responsible for that TLD. The TLD DNS server then directs the recursive DNS server to the authoritative DNS server responsible for the specific domain example youtube.com.
I don't know the IP address for youtube.com, but I can redirect the resolver to the correct authoritative name server.
This server has the most up-to-date information about the domain's IP address.
I am looking for youtube.com.
The authoritative DNS server responds to the resolver server with the IP address associated with the requested domain name.
Got it. Here is the IP address for youtube.com.
And finally, the resolver server sends the IP address back to the user's device, and the device stores this information in its local cache for future use.
Got it. Here is the IP address for youtube.com.
With the IP address in hand, the user's device can now establish a connection to the web server hosting the website associated with the domain name. This connection allows the user to access the website's content. This process may seem complex, but it typically occurs very quickly, often in a matter of milliseconds, thanks to the distributed nature of the DNS system and the caching mechanisms in place to reduce the workload on DNS servers. Thanks for watching. If you've been enjoying our content, hit that subscribe button and join our YouTube family. Your likes and subscriptions mean the world to us, and they help us continue creating content you love. Bye, see you in next video.